4.7 billion years ago, the Big Bang brought the universe into existence. The Earth, like all planets, began as a cloud of dust and rock orbiting the new sun. For the first few 100 million years, the planet began to take shape. Its weak gravitational field slowly developed and pulled in new material. As the planet took on a more familiar shape, rock and ice bombarded the planet. Vaporized liquids formed a thick atmosphere of water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfide. Around 3.9 billion years ago, the Earth began to cool. Condensed water vapor formed the oceans, and the theater was set for its most elaborate performance. On the Earth, life didn't form in elegant sequences, but rather in punctuated events. The first stage of life was microscopic. The earliest form of life is found in the fossils of stromatolites. Dated at 3.5 billion years old, colonies of bacteria thrived on the early Earth. As bacteria evolved, one group gained the ability to produce oxygen gas. O2-producing cyanobacteria filled the early oceans, and over the course of 500 million years, oxygen bubbled out of water and into the atmosphere. While this atmospheric shift proved poisonous for many prokaryote groups, it worked to the advantage of other organisms. The depths of the oceans are teeming with life. The Cambrian explosion, a period of 20 million years during the Paleozoic era, has produced some of the most bizarre and unique creatures. Newly established predator-prey relationships supplied a medium through which natural selection could act, and with the rise of oxygen in the atmosphere, animals with higher metabolic rates and larger body sizes finally gained the advantage. This explosion in diversity around 545 million years ago accounts for most of the ocean-dwelling phylum existing today. While the planet's oceans began to swarm with life, the land lacked vitality. For 1 billion years, the damp surfaces of the continents were coated with a thin film of cyanobacteria and other photosynthetic prokaryotes. However, it wasn't until 500 million years ago that macroscopic life in the form of plants and insects colonized the once desolate land. Insect and plant evolution is tightly bound. Modern insects play a vital role in the reproductive cycle of plants. In exchange for a plant's nectar, insects pollinate the budding flowers. This symbiotic relationship extends into the far past as evolving plant populations competed amongst each other for the support of the insects, without which they could never have reproduced outside of the water. As plants evolved from the photosynthetic protists of algae to the ferns and seeded plants of today, a newcomer took its first shaky steps onto land. At first, the amphibians only came onto land for brief moments, but as time passed, the populations that acquired the ability to stay out of water longer ventured into a fertile land abounding with food. 65 million years later, reptiles would descend from the amphibians and flourish. The Mesozoic era, a period of time between 251 and 65 million years ago, saw some reptiles returning to the waters, while others stayed and evolved into the different species of dinosaurs. Coral reefs began to form, creating new habitats for aquatic life, and in the air, birds mastered flight. The Mesozoic era also saw the rise of the first mammal, a tiny nocturnal insect eater. And as this extraordinary era came to a close, so did the age of the dinosaur. The comet did not end all life. As fallout and debris filled the air, vegetation and air quality severely changed in the months following. It then became an advantage to be small. The ancestors of the dinosaurs didn't shrink from a 20-foot tall reptile to something that could fit in your hand. Rather, the survivors had always been small. It would be as if all dogs over 60 pounds suddenly died. It's not that German Shepherds would change to become Yorkies, just that the Yorkie breed gained the advantage and carried on the canine lineage. The Earth continued to change. Mammals diversified to fill the empty niches left by the mass extinctions, and 100,000 years ago, a new species emerged that would one day impact the planet more so than any other organism: humans. From nothing to an incredibly complex ecosystem, life is the story of trial and error. the planet's fine-tuned machinery continuously refines itself. Those that are unfit for survival find themselves cast aside in the favor of a more cooperating organism, which makes one wonder, what species will still be around another million years from now?